going on, everybody? It's Artie of Artie's Corporate Fiction, back to you with some fantastic coverage. We just heard a couple of hours ago the verdict is in, and spoiler alert, Mr. Blandino was found guilty on both counts, but I only saw the verdict and a little bit afterwards, but apparently there was some overtime action that occurred. I don't know anything about that, but we're gonna have to take a look at that. But I want to say welcome everybody. Shout out to all of you. Good to see you guys again. Bill, Pronon, Trans Girl, Alpha, Gia, Little Miss Augie, Mandy, of course, my wonderful producer, Taylor Queensbury, Aaron. Welcome everybody. Deadpool, Angela. All right, let's get this show on the road, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen here. What's up, Taco? Let's do this.
Now he's getting the reaction he wants.
Nope. There we go. Perfect. Oh my God, Dutch, thank you for the $4.99 super chat.
Now,
and there was much rejoicing.
Wazoo, Joel, Dominus, Cold Runner,
Mr.
John
Blandino
King, Liz, 90s Nostalgia Nerd
is having fun. And if you aren't having fun, you aren't doing it right. So now, Mr. Blandino knows he's on the right path. The path that he has set forth upon
Jerry,
to see what
Hikari,
he can get out of Mr.
Janice, Patty, Mark.
So he goes, he files a customer
Jennifer,
feedback
DJ Kyle,
complaint
Manda,
for whatever
NF
that's
Cat,
worth, and
Cygnus,
takes that and attaches it to a letter that he went home immediately and typed. April 25th, 2019, this letter. This is the letter that, once again, to Michael
Jassa,
in his
Woodwork,
capacity as
Sarah, Heather, Scout,
the subject
Jeffrey.
line itself indicates what's occurring here. The subject line itself indicates, it might as well say, subject, extortion. Desire to file formal complaint with Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline. That's not how this works. If a judge is doing something unethical, they should just be reported. They should be reported. Anybody that's doing something unethical should just be reported.
But that's not what Blandino does.
Or Mr. Blandino, I should say, as a private citizen, anybody
hey, Deacon, Gary, Link,
in this country doesn't
Donovan,
have a right
Bad Mother Trucker, Angstball,
to dangle something over someone's head to say, you are unethical, now I own you? You committed a crime? Now you have to do what I say? That is extortion. That is the purpose of this crime. And in this particular letter, Mr. Blandino discusses thoroughly what he'd initially started talking about. In addition to...
The only reason I'm playing this part because I think they're going to show the highlight that we saw yesterday.
Identifying himself as a volunteer investigator for the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline. Your offices. If you wish to... April 25th, 2019.
All right, I think this is it.
He's telling Mr. Federico he doesn't even have to deal with him directly. He can have an intermediary. This whole sit-down thing, it's not even a real thing. Because you take a look at Mr. Blandino's words, he didn't care. He wants to see what he can get out of Mr. Federico, whether it's Mr. Federico dealing with him directly or Mr. Federico's intermediary. And then, please know that I am very serious about following through to the best of strength that God gives me to do so.
Uh-oh.
He indicates the sacrifice that I spend in time, inconvenience, and discomfort is very small compared to what they suffer to establish freedom and liberty based upon the very principles that God and His Son Jesus would wish for all on this planet to enjoy. the sacrifice that I spend in time, inconvenience, and discomfort? I mean, definitely because he's having fun. And then
Blandino's salty again that he's coming close to the
goes
bench,
further.
to the table.
In that April 25th, 2019 letter, it wasn't just about this
I'm
alleged...
sorry, I gotta
Stop,
He's
stop.
he's not supposed to be like this. He's
No, I
trying
would
to
ask-
taunt me.
Stop.
He's trying to
Kim!
taunt me, Judge.
Stop.
Ooh.
No, I would ask, can you invite Mr. Dickerson to not approach the table? I'm sorry.
Okay.
If he can stay.
He's trying to taunt
Stop,
me, Judge,
Stop talking.
purposely. He knows he's trying to taunt me.
Oh my God.
This is improper, and I'm making a bar complaint against you. I'm making a bar complaint against you, Mr. Dickerson. I will get these jabs, and I will make a bar complaint against you.
Mr. Blandino, stop.
If I would have done this, you would have told me immediately not to do that.
Completely and totally inappropriate.
It's inappropriate for him to come here multiple times, and you know that, Judge.
He's in the well. He is permitted to walk around the well.
You would not let me do that if I were representing myself.
Stop.
If I were going over to the prosecution table.
I'm sorry.
There's no doubt in my mind that this had at least some effect on the jury. There's no doubt in my mind. His demeanor, his inability to have any semblance of self-control, and also talking back to the judge. Because we as those as people who watch sovereign citizens and individuals like Mr. Blandino, we're almost used to seeing litigants talking back to the judge. That's normally not what you see, not what the layman usually sees. They tend to be more respectful to the court than that. So I imagine the jurors seeing this guy basically go, talking back to the judge like that is going to have an effect.
Look, I was just asking on
Okay,
he can be,
we're gonna
if he
take a
doesn't,
recess. During
I-
this recess, you're
I can
allowed
stay.
not to discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case or its merits, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication, or social media.
Hang on,
or
Jessa.
watch, or listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about the case, or any research, such as consulting dictionaries, using the internet, or using reference materials, maybe Blandino, it is completely and totally inappropriate for you to lash out and scream at the prosecutor while he's doing his closing argument. Totally inappropriate. If you don't like something, tell your
I
attorney.
told my attorney 3
and
times that
will
he cannot do that, and he should
And
have
you will
kept.
raise it with the court,
He did not,
okay?
and I had
He's
to
in
raise it,
the
Judge.
well. He can walk around in the well if he wants to.
When
Okay,
I had
I'm
my
not
stu-
sure
when
what
I had my
else
trial
you-
in the 1990s, I tried to walk around and Judge Maupin, he said, you can't walk around, you gotta stand at the table. And you wouldn't have, if I were representing myself, you would not allow me to go over to the prosecution table. I know that for a fact, and if you're in your heart, you ask
Stop.
to get the truth,
Stop.
you
Also, stop pointing. Stop pointing.
say that's
Pointing at
true.
me.
You know that's true.
Stop shouting at me.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit heated, I
No,
apologize.
you're completely and totally out of control. It's not
No.
heated. It is completely and totally out of control. Okay? I'd like to bring the jury back in so Mr. Dickerson can conclude his closing.
If he
Can
would,
you control yourself? Because if not, I'll just
I
remove you
will,
from the
I will,
courtroom.
I'm sorry, I apologize, but if he can agree not to come over here to the
No, he
table.
doesn't have to agree with you about
He
anything.
said he would just a minute ago.
He doesn't have to agree with you about anything. If you can't control yourself, you will be taken out of the courtroom
Okay, I
so that the
apologize.
prosecutor can conclude
I
with his
apologize.
closing.
I apologize.
Can
I'm
you
sorry.
control yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
if I just may,
I mean, Bateman said, like, I didn't even realize Kim, not Kim, Bateman yelled at Kim at that level. My thing is to answer Jass's question, why didn't she, hold him in contempt? I think honestly, true. If she shouldn't have done it in the middle of the jury being there, because I think that would be highly prejudicial. Not that Kim Blandino already sunk his own ship
There was much rejoicing.
with that outburst. But I think, I mean, my theory is that the judge doesn't want any more headaches than what she's already going to expect from Blandino, regardless of the verdict at hand. And I think people at this point, on all sides, both parties and everything, are just at that point where it's just like, just please, for the love of God, let us just get through this shit. You know, no more drama, no more messes. Please let him finish this thing so we can get out of here. You know what I mean? With that said, I don't know
And there was much rejoicing.
if the judge shouldn't have let him off the hook by just simply saying, if you make an outburst again, I'll remove you from the courtroom. I honestly feel like post closing arguments, she should have at least done something, at least hit him with some level of contempt. Because again, you and I as viewers, we've been following this saga for me, I've been following this saga for months. But for these people, they've been dealing with this guy for the better part of 3 years, if not more. So, and they've given him so much levity by comparison. And I understand that they gotta deal, they understand his mannerisms and how he operates, but there's a difference between, you know, there's got to be a line that says, while we understand how this guy operates and we're just going to kind of, you know, weave our way through this, at some point you have to put the hammer down on him, and take whatever drama BS he's going to sling back, because this guy obviously has zero self-control. Anyway.
He's saying that I wouldn't make the objection. The third time he came over, he said, you know, I don't know what he did. He was turning or whatever to Mr. Dickerson, asked me to say, you asked him not to come over here. I was going to object or ask Your Honor to have him not approach the defense table because he can't seem to control himself and he was turning. So I was not, and then he just started looking. So I was intending to ask Your Honor if he could not approach the defense table when this
And there
was,
was much rejoicing.
I've never
whatever
seen
this was
anything-
happening.
I've never seen anything like this. This is just completely and totally inappropriate. He's in the well. I mean, you can't control
Why wasn't
yourself
I told about that?
because the district attorney is walking around giving his closing argument.
Why is he getting that close to the table,
Like I
Judge?
said, if you cannot control yourself, you will be taken out of the courtroom so Mr. Dickerson can conclude. Do you understand what's going to happen? You
He
can't
invaded
scream
my
at people in
bubble,
the courtroom.
Judge.
That's my normal voice.
It's screaming.
I can't whisper.
Okay, that's a normal voice right there.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, when you start screaming at people in the middle of their closing argument, it's totally inappropriate. You realize the jury just saw what you did?
I know they saw that.
That's not good for you. I'm just here to tell you.
I know that.
That is not good for you.
That's why he was taunting me.
So
He wanted a reaction. He wanted a
So
reaction.
Mr.
and he got
Dickerson
it.
owns you?
Probably the best response the judge could possibly give, because yeah, you're letting Dickerson control your actions.
Okay.
No, he
So
wanted
his
to do it.
behavior dictates how you behave.
That was taunting.
Okay.
That was
He was
taunting.
not taunting you. That is ridiculous.
No, it is not.
Can you control yourself so I can bring
Yes,
the
I
jury
can.
back in?
I can.
Okay, have a seat.
Thank you.
You can bring the jury back in.
I think Mr. Dayton,
Stop talking. Like, I'm not kidding. I will have you removed.
I know you're not kidding, Judge.
Okay.
So that was fun. All right, let's go get to it's asking a bit
Bring the rebuttal.
too much. I Who the hell is this guy? Like, this blurred ass low res image. I mean, it could be a cryptid. It could be, you know, Bigfoot with glasses. We have no idea who the hell this is. Who is this Artie? They say they're an attorney, but they don't even describe what kind of attorney. I question his credentials. I would probably
Dino's
Step is front of the jaw.
He does Mr. Federico to disgrace by actually sending everything that he's already sent to the managing board of directors of this firm. All of his bosses. And what did Mr. Federico tell you about extortion? There's opportunity to negotiate a settlement.
I think they're repeating the Yeah, there we go again.
And there was much rejoicing.
I think I did see part of that water, the so-called water spill moment. See, I don't have that up front for me. Let me see. Because that was in the yesterday's event, right? Let me see if I can find that. I know one of you guys linked to me the timestamp. Okay, they don't have it up. They don't have it up anymore, I don't think.
And there was much rejoicing.
Oh, that's okay. All right, no worries. Let's keep on going.
Sure, go ahead and be seated when you get to your turn. Thank you, sir.
Does the state stipulate to the presence of the jury panel
We do, Your Honor.
and the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Mr. Romero, have you been selected to be foreperson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Will you please hand the verdict form to Officer Hawks?
Here we go. Thank you for the $50 super chat. Gia, thank you very much for that. We'll get through the super chats after the video.
Okay, the clerk will now read the verdict out loud. If the defendant and his attorney will please stand for reading of the verdict.
District Court, Clark County, Nevada, State of Nevada, plaintiff versus Kim Dennis Blandino, defendant, case number C341767, department number 12, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant, Kim Dennis Blandino, as follows. Count 1, extortion, guilty of extortion. Count 2, impersonation of an officer, guilty of impersonation of an officer. Dated this 9th day of March 2022. Signed by foreperson Anthony Romero. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict is read? So say you one, so say you all.
Yes.
Okay, does either side wish to have the jury panel polled? Mr. Dickerson?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bateman?
I don't normally do this, but yes, Judge, I'll ask you.
Absolutely. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the clerk is going to ask you a question, and I just have to respond yes or no.
Juror number 1, is this your verdict is read?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is this your verdict is read?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is this your verdict is read?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this your verdict is read?
Yes.
Not surprising at all.
Juror number 5, is this your verdict is read?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's going to be Miss Susan, or I don't want to say your name.
Oh shit. Hold on. Crap. Do I have Nope, that's not it.
Thank you. Juror number 6, William Luke. Excuse me. Is this your verdict as read?
Yeah.
Juror number 7, is this your verdict as read? Juror number 8, is this your verdict as read?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your verdict as read?
Yes.
Juror number 10, is this your verdict as read?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is this your verdict as read?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your verdict as read?
Yes. Okay, at this time, the clerk will record the verdict in the official record of the court. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, you can have a seat. I am going to discharge you from your duty as jurors. You are no longer under the admonition not to discuss this case with anyone. You're free to discuss it with whomever you want. However, you're under no obligation to discuss it with anyone. I am going to excuse you to go back in the jury deliberation room where you will get further instructions. And then you will be excused to go. I do always like to give the attorneys for both sides the opportunity to talk to the jury panel, but only if you want to. Both sides do try cases a lot in this courthouse, and I do think it's good for them to speak to a jury panel afterwards to see what you liked and didn't like. I think it makes them better trial attorneys. However, it's completely up to you whether you want to talk to either side. But before I do excuse you, I just want to extend my gratitude to you for your willingness to be here. Especially, we went a couple extra days than what I had told you, and I want to thank you very much. You were very courteous, you were very professional, and I really appreciate it. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, you are discharged as jurors.
Thank you. All rise for the next jury. Jurors, if you'll please go with Ms. Osterman.
All right, so I guess now we're going to... I imagine they're going to talk about whether he's going to be remanded until sentencing.
Okay, the record will reflect that the hearing is taking place outside the presence of the jury panel. Mr. Dickerson, do you want to be heard?
We would like to be heard, Your Honor. At this point in time, the presumption of innocence is gone. Mr. Blandino has been found guilty by a jury of peers. He is no longer entitled to bail. We would ask that he be remanded today
There was much
on these
rejoicing.
charges awaiting sentencing.
And Your Honor, we would ask that you allow him to remain on.
Yeah, just briefly, thank you, Pope, for the 16 months membership. Again, this is all for... Yeah, this all started from a single... From one traffic incident. A traffic ticket. And I forgot to do this before going live. I wanted to go see what was the... I forgot what the traffic ticket was, and I wanted to know what was the maximum penalty he would have gotten if he was found guilty of the traffic ticket. Was it $50? Was it a $50 ticket leads to the being found guilty of extortion and impersonation?
On his bail and allow him to.
That's right. It was distracted driving or something like that.
This is an ankle bracelet, the electronic monitor. He is local here to Las Vegas. He is not a flight risk. He is the caretaker for Ms. Pendergraft, who is present in the courtroom here today. I think that he certainly needs an opportunity if he, awaiting sentencing, to be prepared and to have any affairs in order that would need to be in order for a sentencing date. But again, he is not a flight risk. He has been, I don't know that he has had any
yeah, I imagine so, Griggsy, yeah.
Being on the electronic monitoring, I believe that he is on medium level. If Your Honor would feel more comfortable, perhaps putting him on the high level electronic monitoring, and that he would be here. He's not going to miss any court date, and like I said, he's not.
Trans girl, to answer your question briefly, do you have to pay all court costs and found guilty? Is that the same in the U.S.? Generally, yes. Generally, yes. You would be responsible for the court costs if found guilty.
He wants to come to court. Mr. Dickerson alluded that this is fun for him, and so I don't know what else to say. He's not a flight risk. He's not going to miss any court. He has been and on the electronic monitoring.
Link 219 says he was
He's not.
he was using a mobile device while operating a vehicle and it didn't have registration, insurance, or a license. Wait, he had the big three on top of the cell phone issue? Wow.
Not any threat or danger to the community. He hasn't been for the 2.5 years that he's been on.
If I may.
Yes, he wanted. I did forget. He did have the 2-week absence in December where he went. We allowed him to travel to his son's graduation, and he was off the ankle bracelet. No issues coming back, getting back on the electronic monitoring ankle bracelet. So I think all that demonstrates that he is an income candidate to remain on his electronic monitoring and will be here at any future court dates.
The state of Nevada has to disagree. We have to disagree about him being in a position at this point in time where he wants to come back to court, him being in a position where he's still having fun. Mr. Blandino is no longer having fun. Mr. Blandino is no longer in control of the situation.
Yeah.
We've seen throughout this case what Mr. Blandino does when he's not in control or he feels like he's losing control. He obstructs, he refuses to cooperate, including when he was ordered to get tested, psychological testing through Lakes Crossing, before Lakes Crossing for that matter, Your Honor, by this court. He refused to cooperate with that. He then was forced to be remanded and sent to have those evaluations done because of his obstruction and refusal. Then throughout this case,
Hey, Randy.
Off the top of my head, I believe it's 22 motions to disqualify the courts that were solely for the purpose of obstructing and harassing these proceedings whenever he was feeling like he was no longer in control of things from going his way. It's clear. Today, he's been found guilty. Things are no longer going his way. He should be remanded. He is a danger to the community. And the fact that we've seen his behavior here in court, we've seen his disrespect for the law. Mr. Blandino does not respect the letter of the law at all. He doesn't respect court orders. He's violated this court's orders in the past. He's violated past court orders, even indicating in some paperwork that he was going to go do surveillance at the named victim's residence in this case. That is incredibly concerning to the state. I would also note that he is a convicted felon. In that particular case, which is also of concern, he fled the state of Nevada with his children that he kidnapped, changed their names, told them that their mother had spiritual cancer and that she died. This is an individual who has extreme issues. He needs to be remanded.
Just a reminder of, thank you, Mr. Dickerson, for reminding us of this individual, of Mr. Blandino's past, which again doesn't seem to have changed much since the kidnapping incident. Yeah. Just a friendly reminder of what, if you guys saw my part 1 of my series of the Kim Blandino saga, part 1, shout out to my own videos. Yeah, we found this out about Mr. Blandino and his custody issues and his family court issues. And yeah, he's a convicted felon. That happened long before these current antics. But again, shameless plug. Please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It definitely helps the channel. Thank you guys. And by the way, I'm 120 subs away from 10K. So that might be awesome.
Independent sentencing, and I think that the state of Nevada will be in a good position to also, at some point in time, request some litigation regarding evaluations prior to sentencing as to his mental state and what should be happening with him at the time of sentencing.
If I may speak to the, sit down, please.
Sorry.
As to the, I was standby counsel at that point. That was in competency court. Honestly, there was a discrepancy and a misunderstanding as to whether the appointment had to be set or the evaluation had to be done by the date certain. Mr. Blandino is not well liked. He does not get the benefit of the doubt.
Much rejoicing.
You know, I'm not a witness, but he did set the appointment. He did not have it. As far as disobeying the orders, for his evaluations. This was in December around the holidays. He was not when that happened. So I don't think that is what happened, that he was willfully disobeying those orders to be evaluated. Like I said, it was difficult at that time to get appointments. He did set appointments, and so as far as that is concerned, I don't think that should be counted against Mr. Blandino for disobeying the court. We heard testimony, Judge, from the detective after doing the search warrant that there was nothing that indicated he was a threat or a danger that led to additional charges, and all those papers and all those files or anything like that, that Mr. Blandino was a threat. So I think he, if he's on the high-level electronic monitoring program and he's on bail, so he's got he's got the jail who runs the electronic monitoring program, he's got, private bail company with their bounty hunters. He is not a flight risk. He is not a danger. The high-level monitoring, I mean, they have strict curfews. They have strict rules about when he can go and where he can go. Since he doesn't, I don't think he doesn't have a 9-to-5 job, is what I'm trying to say. So he can't really go anywhere during the day. And also, as far as filing, obviously he's a vexatious little bit. He can't file. When I was standby counsel, my understanding of my role was that, he was the attorney and I filed these things. Obviously, I've said it before. Clearly, I filed things as standby counsel that I would never file as an attorney. So I don't think that that's an issue of him filing anything here with the court. So, because that would go through me, I will not file anything that would be, I can't imagine anything that I would need to file, but certainly none of the sorts of things like along the lines of what was filed, the motions to disqualify, or any of those things. I would not file that or anything.
God,
like
I would
that.
hope
So I don't
not.
think that's a concern either.
God knows this case file needs another motion to disqualify added to it.
I would note one thing regarding it being brought up that the detective testified there's nothing of concern.
Come on.
The detective clearly didn't want to get into all the other things that have been found during the investigation, which could be unduly prejudicial. That includes the fact that Mr. Blandino, even after he was charged in this case, continued this same behavior, including to the Justice Court Pro Tem Judge Leo Williams, who sat on his case in this same case in Justice Court before he was indicted, where later on, after his indictment, he sent her the letter that we discussed in the hearing outside the presence of the jury in November of 2019, indicating that she needed to recuse herself from a civil case that was before the Justice Court that he believed that she was a judge of, and that if she didn't recuse herself, he was going to be filing complaints against her with the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline. That letter, too, he took up to her private law office and dropped it off. His criminal behavior has continued, Your Honor, and it's time to put it to an end.
Was he a party to the civil action?
He believed that he could be an intervener in it, but at the time he was not.
So he was not a party.
He was not a party.
Okay. I'm not, I guess I can't speak to that, to civil matter. I'm not able to speak to that. I don't know about it.
Can I say anything?
He already had a psych eval, Gia.
Represented by counsel.
He was
So
found
at this
competent.
time, I'm going to allow him to stay at liberty pending sentencing. His monitoring will be raised to high level.
And I'm not surprised about that. That doesn't surprise me at all. Notwithstanding our feelings, our personal feelings against him, he's not inherently dangerous, right? Again, you got to look at this at an objective level. He hasn't committed, battery, assault, nothing with a firearm or anything like that. He's just a pissant and an annoyance. An annoyance to a fault. but I wouldn't say he's dangerous, and which is why I believe that that's the reason why he's allowed to remain out and not remanded until sentencing.
Electronic monitoring, all of your conditions will remain the same. So you understand you're not permitted to have any contact with the victims in this matter.
Correct.
And you're not permitted to send any letters of the kind that you, in this underlying matter.
Can
Do you
I continue
understand
to
that?
file complaints to the Commission on Judicial Discipline now?
Oh my God. What did we just go through? He still wants to file the complaint.
To do the ordinary course?
I would ask that anything that he's gonna file, any complaints or anything like that should go through his attorney. At this point in time, we know that he's
That's
using.
a very good idea.
So I send them to him and then he clears it?
That's correct.
Okay.
Right, and then you won't have any issues. Because if you have any issues pending sentencing, you will be remanded pending sentencing.
Okay, understood.
Do you have any questions about what your conditions are?
Stay away from Nordstrom, stay away from Federico. No filing Commission on Judicial Discipline with the complaints except for him. Now, I do
No
want.
sending people
Okay,
letters.
now one thing I do have to, I tried to file, or serve Mr. Federico, and my son tried to. I gave it to legal wings this morning because I didn't know if I was gonna remain at it. So a third party will be serving Federico that federal civil rights suit. And as you know, we're supposed to try and negotiate, or try to resolve it without going through the trial. So how do I handle that?
Have any contact with
What did we just, he's doing it again. He's doing it again, but now with a federal suit.
Mr. Federico.
Well, how do I handle that with the federal court?
Do not have any contact with Mr. Federico.
So if I had.
Okay,
So
I mean, I
you-
just want to make sure, I don't care what litigation you have going on, you get an attorney, you get
So
somebody
if I
else
get an
to have
attorney
the
and contact through the attorney, it's okay.
That would be fine.
Okay.
But you cannot have any direct contact. He clearly does not want to have any contact with you.
Well, yeah, but I'm allowed to file a federal civil rights suit, and that's.
Oh my God.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with that, we would also request, since you're going to be leaving Mr. Blandino out of custody, we request an overall order that he not be at the RJC or the property of the RJC unless he's here for a case where he is a party for an actual court appearance, and during that time. We also wanted specifically that he not come to any of the offices of the Clark County District Attorney's Office. During the course of this case, it's come to my attention that Mr. Blandino has visited our reception at the Clark County District Attorney's Office, caused the women working there to feel very uncomfortable, started yelling at people in the lobby or harassing people in the lobby about wearing, as he calls them, diapers on their face because they're wearing masks.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That I am not shocked at all that he would go to the DA's office himself.
It's something that is of concern to our office, and our investigators are aware of it. He is not allowed at the district attorney's office as far as we're concerned, and I've told him that he's trespassed.
Okay, do you understand that? You are not permitted.
That's right, Patty.
to
I do recall that.
RJC
Right.
For any reason, unless you have a proceeding here where you are the party.
Now, does that
Do you
include
understand
if I have to go to the clerk's office because the computers are down to file something or that out? Like,
Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Okay, so I now finally understand what Bateman said in his closing, that Blandino is very, very, like, literal. And this kind of encapsulates that. He will do everything he can to find a loophole or a way to skirt what is being told to him that any layperson would otherwise understand. Like if a judge told Blandino, do not contact this individual, Blandino would be the guy, that would ask, well, does that also include by carrier pigeon? Am I allowed to use smoke signals? Morse code, perhaps. This is that kind of this is that mentality that I'm getting out of this guy, that he will try every avenue to get around what's being told to him in plain language.
I have to mail it.
You're just trying to talk me out of letting you stay at
No,
home,
I just
aren't you?
wanted, I just wanted to.
I mean, I literally feel like you're trying to talk me out of allowing you to stay at liberty.
Okay.
She's right. She's right, because it's like, Blandino, are you do you want me to put you in jail? Because you're not figuring this shit out.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Just some clarification. With whom do I, if he has a complaint that he sends to me, with whom am I supposed to clear that? With Your Honor, with Mr. Dickerson? I just want a little.
No, you use your discretion.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you're an attorney. you're
Yes,
an
okay, I
officer
just
for-
want to make sure that that's what the.
See, it's infecting Bateman. It's rubbing off on Bateman. For the love of God, somebody save Bateman. Get him out of there, please. Free him from this.
Absolutely. So
The criteria was.
the
Okay.
matter will be referred to parole and probation. You understand you're going to be required to go to parole and probation. You're going to be required to participate in an interview. Do not let that report come back to me saying you refuse to participate.
What do you mean for the PSI report?
That's
But I
correct.
go to the jail for the upgrade on the high level though.
That is correct.
So it's two separate things I'm doing. Parallel
That's
tests, okay? All right.
But again, I just want to make sure you understand you have to go to parole and
You
probation.
got a report date for me?
I have paperwork for you. Just
Okay.
let the judge.
My suggestion is you go within the next 48 hours.
Oh, that's no problem there.
So that they can make sure they get it done, the interview, and prepare the report and give it to the court on time.
Yeah, do I have to make an appointment with them or can I just drop in? I don't know.
You're gonna be given paperwork.
Oh my fucking God.
They can make sure they get it done, the interview, and prepare the report and give it to the court on time.
Yeah, do I have to make an appointment with them or can I just drop in?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
You're gonna be given paperwork. Just
Oh, okay.
I
Let the
believe you
judge
can
finish.
just report to P&P. I don't think you have to make an appointment.
Okay.
Okay?
Sentencing is going to be July 7th at 8:30. If we're still on pandemic schedule, that will be at 12 p.m. And Marshall, here's paperwork to be placed on high level. Oh, and
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, what was it, July 7th?
July 7th at 8:30. If we're still on pandemic schedule, that'll be at 12 p.m.
One thing slipped my mind, and it's the fact that the municipal court, which has been the target of much of Mr. Blandino's ire, has now moved to a different building. And so we would also request that the stay away order include the municipal court, unless he has the same thing, a case that is on calendar that day at the court.
I don't assume that's out of line.
Okay, so I'm gonna include, because the Las Vegas Municipal Court, they used to be in this building, now they have their own. So you understand you can't go into that building
Okay, yes.
unless you have a case on calendar wherein you are the party.
Where you are the party. Thank God she fucking clarified that.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
This might be premature, but I just want to say that, or to put the defendant on notice, I do not do appeals, I do not do appellate work. Mr. Blandino has filed things alleging and about my ineffectiveness, and so obviously I'm sure that would, if an
One second,
appeal were
Jacob.
to come of this, that would be an issue, and I will not be handling that appeal. Mr. Blandino, quite frankly, probably has more experience with appeals than I do.
So, one thing to note in that regard is that the feds, SCOTUS has already held that your Sixth Amendment right to representation does not extend to the appellate level. They have already ruled on that. So you do not have a right to an appellate attorney. However, I may be wrong, but I believe a handful of states have, of their own volition, extended that right to the appellate level. I don't know which states, but I think there may be a number of states that have permitted that that Sixth Amendment right to the appellate level, but that does not exist. Your right to an attorney is only at the trial level, not at the appellate level.
But I would like to put at least on notice now, I will not be handling any appeal, I won't filing any notice of appeals on his behalf.
Okay, so it sounds like Mr. Bateman's gonna ask to withdraw as your attorney of record after your sentencing.
Right.
So you understand you have 30 days to file a notice of appeal?
Well, after a judgment of conviction with sentence, I can't appeal until a judgment of conviction.
That's correct.
Right.
That is correct.
Although they allow a early thing.
So if you want Mr. Bateman to help you with the notice of appeal, he may, but I'm assuming you're gonna wanna represent yourself on appeal.
Well, they're under Blandino versus State, which is named after me.
Is that a yes? Okay, I'll take that.
He has to reference a case named after himself. Oh God, I feel like he's proud of that too. Yeah, I think he's proud of that.
Yes. Okay, anything else?
Thank you, Judge.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you. Court is now in recess.
Oh, okay, we're done. Oh man. What an experience. Jacob, to answer your question, what's my prediction as to sentencing? I mean, I've gone back and forth with this. My understanding is we're looking at probably a year and a half to 2 years in prison plus probation. I don't know for how long, but I don't think the prison sentence, if he gets prison time, which I think extortion has the mandatory 1 year.
And there was much
If he gets I feel like he may end up getting the minimum on extortion and some time for the impersonation, with time served plus probation. Because again, we have to look at this objectively. We have to look at the entirety of the facts, but it may be an aggravating factor. Some of the aggravating factors may be his antics throughout the trial, his previous conviction. So that could actually, prove me wrong, So I would say, I think he probably is indigent. So I don't think they're probably going to impose a fine because there's no point in it. So I would say probably 2 years maximum with time served, or maybe 2 or 3 years of suspended sentence with time served. So we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, again, all this for a traffic violation. But all right, let's go through some of the super chats. Mandy, and let's go.
Okay. So we've got Colin Yelthree became a member. Cindy Sue became a member. Scott Comstock became a member. Christopher Jordan became a member. The Dutch Doyle Discussions sent a $4.99 super chat. Kimio Stark sent a $5 super chat. Said, I hope your week is going well. Excited for this. Loki and I say hello. Pamela Cauldron sent a $2 super chat. Watch the fake water part. Where he poured the water in his lap. Jennifer Klein sent a $10 super chat. Thank you. Artie Blandino took over our life. We are lost until now. We were lost until now. Isn't that true?
Life has lost all meaning from this entire escapade. What are we gonna do with ourselves? It's like watching the end of Endgame. How do we move forward in the Marvel Cinematic Universe when we've been there from the beginning? Where do we go from there?
Very good point. Great comparison. Casey Carey sent a $1.99 super chat. Sarah Cartland became a member. Thank you, Sarah. Pronon 1990 sent a $1.99 super chat that said snowflake. Joanne Sal sent a $2 super chat. Thank you, Joanne. And MWILDERMUTH sent a $4.99 super chat. And Pronon 1990 sent a $1.99 super chat that said, Artie is a sovereign citizen, LOL.
I do not consent.
Gia sent a $49.99 super chat. Never interrupt the defendant when he is winning your case for you. Love, Dickerson.
Good point.
Mildred Muth sent a $1.99 super chat. You and Law Talk with Mike have done a great job.
Thank you for that.
Agreed. Pronon 1990 sent a $1.99 super chat. Kim, don't drop the soap. Gary Street sent a $2.71 super chat. Artie, hashtag top bloke. When are you
Thank
coming
you.
to England?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know when I'm gonna be there. The closest I'll be is my family keeps on teasing that they want to go on a trip to Ireland, and so that's probably the closest I'll get to England anytime soon.
Amaron sent a $5 super chat for the free Bateman fund. He needs it. Tammy Reed sent a $2 super chat, free Bateman. Gary Street sent a $2.71 super chat. What do you call a salmon in a tie? Sophisticated. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Somebody put Gary in timeout for that dad joke. Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding. Palman Cauldron sent a $2 super chat. What is high level electronic monitoring?
High level electronic monitoring means more. I'm only gonna. Okay, I don't know this for sure as an attorney or anything like that. I'm only speaking from a layman, so I can be absolutely wrong in this. My assumption of high level monitoring is probably a limitation on. It could be a limitation on distance as to how far he can get away from his house. That might be my guess. I honestly, but that's only a guess. I don't know the details of that.
Okay. Joshua Lee sent a $5 super chat. How many appeals does Kim have before he has exhausted his chances?
I don't know the Nevada system, but usually you get there's only like two levels, right? There's the trial, there 2 levels after trial. There's the intermediate level, and then there's the Supreme Court. That's usually the case for the vast majority of the U.S. states. I think that's the case for Nevada. So he has his main shot at appeal, and I believe in certain criminal convictions you have an appeal as of right, depending on how long or depending on the time in which you file your appeal. So if you for example, if you file within 30 days, the appellate division will automatically grant your appeal to hear it. If beyond that, it may be upon the discretion of the court. But usually there's just that mid-tier, and then if you lose on appeal, then you have your last shot is with this Supreme Court, which is far more discerning when it comes to accepting appeals. So you may not get your chance. So in reality, he may have his one shot at appeal, and he may not be able to get an additional shot. But at max, he has 2 additional tries.
Okay, that's good. I'll screw it. Sent a $3.94 super chat. Next up, Blandino files a motion of restitution, I think this one, to the appellate judge.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Next up, Blandino files a motion of recusion. I think is recusion. Recusion to the appellate judge.
To To the appellate?
Yeah.
Well, of course, he's going to probably demand that the appellate judges recuse themselves. I mean, that's, yeah, of course.
Of course he will. Dr. Strangelove sent a $10 super chat. I already pity his prison bunkmate. Yes, we all do. Jennifer Klein sent a $10 super chat. I just want to hear my sis, Miss Mandy, read this. I love you. I love you too, Jennifer.
Aw. Thank you, Jennifer.
And that's it.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for sticking with me. It was fantastic. But I think we're going to close it out here. As much as I kind of want to keep the good times rolling, because it's been a while since I'd done a fairly extra long stream, but it's okay. I believe Nat is currently live right now, so you might want to check her out. She's going to have her own epic take on Mr. Blandino. But I think that's where we're going to stop here. You know, keep it short, sweet, and on topic. But yeah, guys, go check out Nat. She's probably on right now. And yeah, we're going to call it a day. Thank you guys again. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Later. Salud.
My bitch a choose it.